This is a routine that you can use to strengthen your hips and your feet and provide you with more flexibility and mobility in those areas. It will also help strengthen your knees and your back as well. So if you have a job where you sit down a lot, often we come tight in these areas and that can have a knock-on effect on the rest of your body. So to do the routine, you do need to get a massage ball or a tennis ball. You can get these from places like Decathlon or online. So you're going to do this exercise barefoot or in socks, so take your shoes off. I'm just going to show you on one foot, you don't need to see both of them. So what we're going to do is basically take the ball, place it onto the ground, and then you're going to take your foot and you're going to run it up and down. Okay, you're going from just below the heel, where the heel starts, up to the top of your toes. Okay, so that gap where your toes start to leave your foot, you want to go to. So you're going on the inside of the foot, so you go up and down, apply some pressure so it feels like it hurts a little bit, but not, so it's uncomfortable, but it doesn't actually hurt too much, okay? So you want to be on that edge of discomfort, and then you're also going to go down the side, on the outside as well, so you're covering all areas of your foot, going up and down. We then go from side to side as well, particularly under the ball of the foot. We want to focus on that area there, but you can also go in circles, as many directions as you can really. So left to right, try and get it lower down towards your heel as well, and you can sort of go near your toes. So what you're trying to do is activate your foot, make it become more aware, and so you can then get that flexibility and then allow you to spread your toes out. So with this, make sure you're doing both feet, and you want to be doing each foot for around about 1 minute to 90 seconds. So we're going to warm up the knees, stand with your feet under your hips, toes facing forwards, and then imagine that you're squeezing a box that's in between your knees, so you're trying to hold on. If you're ever in a rodeo bull or a horse, and you're trying to hold on to it with your knees, this is what you're doing here. So you're just applying pressure in, you should feel it on the inside of your legs, and then relax, and then do the same, pushing to the outside. You'll feel your feet rotate on the arches of your feet side to side as you do it. Squeeze in and then squeeze out. Hold it for about 5 or 6 seconds each time. Squeeze in, squeeze out. And then stand up nice and tall, squeeze the backs of your legs and your bum together. Stand up as tall as you can and then relax. And we'll do it one more time. Just squeeze your feet, knees in. Squeeze in, squeeze out, squeeze in, squeeze out, and then stand up nice and tall, squeeze and tense all the way down the backs of your legs, stand up as tall as possible and relax. I'm just going to go one direction with this, so we're going to go bring our knees in and then back, so you have a little upwards movement as your knees are coming in and going backwards. This next exercise is going to help stretch out the fronts of your shins and the back of your calves. Okay, so what you need to do is just sit back onto your heel. Try and go down as far as possible. Some people can't always get down this far, just go down as far as comfortable. You're then going to make sure that your toe is in line with your knee, then grab your thigh, and you're just going to rotate round. So you rotate round in one direction, give it about 3 or 4 rotations, and then just go the other way. So this is quite nice and subtle. As you get more flexible, you'll be able to go bigger with the movements, but just start off nice and small. Once you've gone round both directions, you're then going to push your shoulder into your thigh and then reach forward as far as you can. Try and keep that heel on the ground and keep your bum on your heel at the back. So you squeeze and tense and then just relax back into it. And then you're going to repeat onto the opposite side. You'll probably find that one side is more flexible than the other. This is quite usual. So just rotate round, come back round the opposite way, and then stretch forwards. So this next move, we're going to stretch out the hip flexor. So what you need to do is just bring one knee up, and you're just going to push your hips forwards, lean back. You don't want to be leaning back too far. So the classic way to do this is people lean really back into it. We just want to be leaning back, and you want to be leaning back to the point where you can still tense the back of your leg and your bum when you do this movement. So what you're going to do is lean back, and then I want you to squeeze and tense. If you create fists with your hands, you're going to keep forward, looking forward, squeeze and tense, hold it for about 5 seconds, and then just relax. Make sure you come out of position, and then you're going to just push forwards again. So squeeze and tense, creating tension all the way through. You want to tense the back of this leg here, and then just relax. And then again, push forwards, squeeze and tense, and relax. You want to do about 4 or 5 times on each side with this. And then you're going to go the opposite side. So when you do it, make sure you're just leaning back, squeeze and tense, and then just push forwards. And again, squeeze and tense, and then just push forwards. So squeeze and tense, and then just relax. So this will basically help loosen off your hip flexors and give you that mobility around your hips that you sometimes lose when you sat down a lot. Now this next movement is a classic movement that you see in yoga a lot. They call it the downward dog. So what you want you to do is get your hands about shoulder width apart. You're going to come back, put your weight backwards, pushing your hips back, get that back nice and straight. Now you're looking to try and get your head between your hands, and you want to try and get your heels onto the ground. So you're pushing back. Sometimes you'll find your heels are up, just try and put them down as far as you can. Then from here, what I want you to do is just drop down, so change down, just lifting your toes off the ground, okay? Look forwards, and then just ping back up. So you hold this position for a few seconds, and then you just drop down, lowering those hips, keeping your chest high. This is going to help loosen off the hips and the hip flexors. And you come down from here, and then back up. And then from here, all I want you to do is go back down into the bottom position. You're going to rotate your hips from one side to the other, just holding it for a few seconds, keeping your knees off the ground. Just help stretch those hips out. So this next stretch is going to stretch off your glutes. What you need to do is just get your legs in a right angle position to each other, so you're sitting down. If you find this uncomfortable, so this leg wants to be out at a right angle, you can just pull your heel in and decrease the angle. That takes the pressure off. And you can do the same at the back, just pulling your heel in, but try and keep your thighs at right angles to your waist. You want to be able to sit up nice and straight, just to give yourself a little bit of support if you need to. Then from here, you're going to go across 3 points. So you're going to go down to 10 o'clock. You're just going to lean down, and if you want to increase the stretch, you can just lift your heel off the ground as well, and that increases the stretch on your glute. And then you're going to come forwards straight across, and then you're going to come across to about 2 o'clock, and you're going to look to stretch to aim to get to the ankle. Okay. If you find that you're getting any cramping, you can just ease it off, just have a shake out and come back in. Cramping is not a bad thing, it's your body telling you that it's doing something it doesn't like, it's trying to adjust. So that's a sign that you are progressing sometimes. So we can do that on both sides. So you're going to bring it in, just bring it round, shorten them off. You'll find that again, one side may be slightly more flexible than the other. That's not unusual. So if you're inflexible on one side, you can just change the angles accordingly, okay? So you're then going to come down. This time you start at 2 o'clock, and then you're going to come down to 12 o'clock, and then you come across to 10 o'clock, and then come back up. You can repeat the movement 2 or 3 times in each direction just to increase that stretch. Now these movements are going to help you create balance and stability. So make sure your feet are facing forwards and directly under your hips. push your feet into the ground. So imagine you're trying to actually grip the floor, not scrunching your toes up, but just applying pressure and opening up the feet, make sure they're nice and wide. What I want you to do then is put pressure and weight into one leg, and then you're going to lift the other leg up, and you're going to bring your knee up as high as you can, okay? Holding it in this position, straighten your leg out. You're going to squeeze and tense and put your arms out to the side, keeping your balance. And hold that for about 10 seconds. And then relax. So this is going to help activate your glutes. It also improves your stability and your balance. So we're going to go to the other side. So you lift it up, bring your knee up, hold it out, squeeze and tense. And then relax. So now you want to repeat that movement basically 2 or 3 times on each leg. Just basically helps you activate your glutes, helps you activate your lower back. Now this movement is good for increasing your hip mobility. So you're going to stand with your feet flat on the ground, and you're just going to put your weight to one side, so that leg straight, and then you're going to bring your leg around in a big arc as far as you can, trying to keep your hips forwards, and then bring it back as far as you can, again trying to keep these hips forwards. So you're just in a big motion, a big arc, keeping that balance, keeping that foot off the ground. Then we're going to go to the other side. So you want to do about 2 or 3 big nice loops on this. And you're just going to come round. You'll find that one leg is probably more stable than the other. That's because we balance on the other. We tend to balance more on one leg than the other, depending on which foot you tend to kick a football with. It's a good indicator. We'll tend to balance on the opposite side. So when we're doing this, make sure you're getting good big arcs, keeping those hips facing forwards.